Alright, what is good, y'all? Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a good trading week. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Before we get into sort of a rant or raw talk about trading in December, I want to go over an A+ setup because, every video I'm trying to give some sort of value to you guys. So if you guys follow me, you guys know I like to trade supply and demand. I also trade a few other strategies on like higher time frames, but last week there was a absolutely beautiful trade on AUD USD, and if you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me there. Same as my YouTube, it's T_Profitz with a Z. Go follow me on Instagram because I posted this trade on Instagram as well. So on AUD USD last week, I believe this was Thursday that this trade happened, but we had AU in this massive downtrend here. My trading view is bugging right now. But we had AU in this massive downtrend. It was making lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. And we had this trend line here. This is like a rough trend line, right? It obviously broke out and broke back underneath this trend line, but this was kind of a area of interest trend line or an AOI trend line. So that's what I like to call it. So you have a bounce here, almost a bounce here, a bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, and then finally it comes to this point here. It bounced here, and then instead of going down and making a lower low, price broke above not only this trend line, but it broke above this structure right here. So this is 5-minute structure. We're on the 5-minute time frame. We break above this structure, and this is an early New York session, right? I trade in New York session, but the same thing will happen on any session. The same setup can happen on literally any session. Mostly New York and London, those best for these supply and demand setups. But we have price break above this structure right here. So it's making a higher high here on the 5-minute time frame, and it created a nice demand zone here with this big bullish impulse, bullish engulfing candle right here. So I labeled that my demand zone. We fly up, we come down, and we test perfectly that trend line and this demand zone. Another just added confluence to this is that the 50 moving average, this blue line going through right here, the 50 moving average happens to be right there testing perfectly. So we're trading above the 200, above the 50. That is all signs, good signs that it's going to continue pushing bullish, especially if it hits a demand zone like this. It just acts as a launch pad. So it perfectly wicks in, immediately rejects. Another really good sign that this trade's going to play out. So once this candle breaks here, I get in, and I only took it to about equal with this structure here, but there's major structure resistance up here, and you could have taken this. That was almost a 45 pip trade, about a 1 to almost a 1 to 6, 1 to 5.6 RR risk to reward trade. So absolutely beautiful trade. This is like textbook A+ setup because you have a trend line. You have the 50 moving average. You have a beautiful demand zone with a break of structure. You also have, which I didn't even label here, a gap, which some will call a fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. You have a gap right here. Whoa, that line's not supposed to be there. Let me move it real quick. But you have a gap, if I zoom in a little bit, from the top of this wick to the bottom of this wick right here. So this hole, there's a gap right here. There's liquidity sitting in that zone. So once price came back up, breaking that structure, it was needing to come back and fill this gap, which it did perfectly. Filled it, perfectly tapped the demand zone, and then boom, blasted off using that demand zone as a launch pad. This is exactly what you want to see on supply and demand zones. The same thing goes in reverse for a supply zone if you had it going for a sell. But beautiful trade. Like I said, you could have held this and almost got a 1 to 6 here, and it might have even gone higher. Actually, let's see. Did it go higher? We played around here. I know eventually it went back down, but yeah, it started going back down. But you get it. A 1 to 6 trade, 1 to 5, beautiful trade. So just wanted to go over that real quick to show you kind of what an A plus setup, in my opinion, is. Now this is just from my experience trading supply and demand on the 5-minute, 15-minute, and even the 1-hour time frame. Setups like this with 3 to 5 confluences, these play out the absolute best. Now there's low probability setups with 1 or 2 confluences that'll play out, but with a clean break of structure, trading above the 200 and the 50, and the gap being filled on a supplier demand zone, that will play out more times than not. And that's what I've seen it in my trading career so far. So just wanted to show that. But now let's go ahead and get into my thoughts on trading in December. So, a lot of people, some traders don't even trade December at all. They will trade, the first 11 months of the year, and then they'll completely take December off. Some will even take November off with the holidays. You have Thanksgiving holidays if you're in the United States, Christmas, obviously, in December, Hanukkah. There's a lot of different, it's just the holiday season. A lot of people are taking off of work. They're taking off, to spend time with their family and whatnot. So a lot of times there's not as much volume in the market. There's not as many people trading. There's not as much volume, which in turn will give you consolidation. So you'll start to see a lot of pairs, especially in these next 2 weeks or so, the latter half of December, to end the year out. You're going to see some consolidation. You may not see zones being respected like they usually are if there's good volume in the market. Sometimes, like supply and demand right here, this obviously is better when the price is trending and when there's a decent amount of volume. So there's a lot of bullish volume that came into the market here, and that ended up making this trade play out, very well. So if there's not a lot of volume in the market, you're going to start seeing pairs consolidate, and that's an easy way to just get clapped by the markets, to be honest. So you're going to be buying here, and then price is going to go like this, and then it's going to tap your stop loss, then hit your TP, or maybe it'll fly, then tank. I mean, it starts to become less predictable, and the probability of your setup becomes less likely to play out during the holidays. So especially the week of Christmas, I would not even trade, y'all. Don't even open the charts if you want to conserve your capital. If you're trying to pass a challenge, just wait till January. Trust me. Of course, this is just my opinion. Some traders will trade December and they just will skip literally Christmas Day, but trade all the other days of December. For me, right now it's the 12th of December. I've traded up until yesterday. I did not take a trade today. CPI came out today, so I didn't trade. But to be honest, the charts looked pretty good so far in December. I was on like a 4 or 5 win streak. I took a loss on Monday, but my setups have been playing out decently for December so far, and I think that now is when we're going to start to see, and what I'm starting to notice is consolidation within the markets. Again, this is just my opinion. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. You can trade. You can take the rest of December off. I'm probably going to still stay on the charts the rest of this week and, see if any A+ setups come up. If there's any setups that are questionable or low probability, I'm not taking them, just because with it being almost the holidays, it's even less likely to play out, in my opinion, and in my experience of, trading 3+ years. I'm going on my 4th year of trading now, which is crazy. So, I've experienced many Decembers and many holiday seasons now. And in my experience, especially with supply and demand, really any strategy for that matter, but supply and demand is mainly what I trade. So I focus on that the most. And what I've noticed from my experience is that second half of December, you just got to be careful. Your zones are going to start breaking through. There's going to be more consolidation, less volume in the markets. So it's just an easy time to get clapped in the markets. So I know I'm sounding a little bit repetitive, but I want you guys to just hear me out on my opinion. Again, do whatever you want. I don't care. But that is just what I think of December. So, right now I'm funded 100K with Nova, and then I have a few other challenges I'm taking. So I'm not going to put up my capital at risk or risk blowing a challenge just because, oh, I want to trade. Like I have enough patience. I can wait until January. Even if I don't trade the rest of this week, I can wait till January for the next 3 weeks or whatever, and I'll be fine. And that's the point that you guys want to get to, is where you can be fine not trading. You don't have to trade every single day. You don't have to trade every single week. You don't have to trade every single month. Of course, I like to trade. I love trading. I like trading as much as I can, but I'm not going to, you have to let your probabilities play out. And if you know in the back of your head that there's less probability of your trades playing out, why even risk it? Why risk taking a bunch of losses and then putting yourself at that emotional discomfort level, right? So that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of any of that. If you got any value out of this video, I'd really appreciate you guys like it. Give me a subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed to follow along with the journey. Like I said, I've been trading almost 4 years, or this will be going on my 4th year here, starting in 2024. Yeah, so I appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the video. If you guys have had any good trades, anything, I'd love to start some conversations with you guys. I'll appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.